All right, the Rafale controversy has been resurrected yet again. Big political Rafale dogfight has now erupted after a French journal claimed kickbacks in the deal. French news portal Mediapart has claimed that Dassault Aviation allegedly paid at least 650 million rupees to a middleman to secure the sale of Rafale fighter aircrafts to the Indian government. In fact, the report also alleges that the transaction was made between the Mauritian firm and the French aviation firm between 2007 and 2012 during the rule of the Congress-led UPA government. The bribes were allegedly paid off to middleman Sambit Patra. After the revelation, BJP has trained its guns at the Congress, saying UPA was collecting kickbacks but couldn't even close the deal. Congress, meanwhile, hits out at the BJP, saying that the Modi government is completely exposed and also now demands a JPC.
मूलतः इसमें यह बताया गया है कि जो दसों एविएशन था लगभग 7.5 मिलियन यूरोस, अगर हम इसे भारतीय रुपया में कन्वर्ट करें तो लगभग 65 करोड़ रुपीस बैठता है। तो 65 करोड़ रुपीस ये कमीशन के रूप में पे किया गया दसों एविएशन द्वारा, और यह आर्टिकल लिखती है सीक्रेट कमीशन के माध्यम से एक मिडलमैन को दिया गया है 36 राफेल एयरक्राफ्ट के लिए। इसमें वो कहा गया है कि 11 मिलियन यूरो तक, अर्थात मिनिमम 7.5 मिलियन यूरोस और 11 मिलियन यूरोस तक ये कमीशन दिए गए हैं हिंदुस्तान के अंदर एक मिडलमैन के माध्यम से, जिस मिडलमैन का नाम सुषेन गुप्ता है, सुषेन मोहन गुप्ता।
All right, I'm going to quickly cut across to Supriya Bhardwaj, who has Pawan Khera along with her, of course, to speak a little more on the Rafale deal. Supriya, we heard what Sambit Patra had to say, complete allegation against the Congress for taking kickbacks, but couldn't even close the deal. Take us through exactly what the Congress's reaction to that.
Exactly. Pawan Khera is with me. Sambit Patra has leveled serious allegations. He's saying from 2007 to 2012, kickbacks were given in Rafale deal. Commission was given, but the deal wasn't closed. What is your take on it?
This middleman, Sushan Gupta, was hired by Dassault in 2000. Whose government was it? Mr. Vajpayee. We can't say Mr. Vajpayee's government was corrupt or indulging into corruption. Fact of the matter is that the Rafale deal was inked by Mr. Modi without a tender, something which we were doing through a tender. We had the no corruption clause in the deal, which Mr. Modi personally intervened and removed. Fact is that we were negotiating a price of 526 crore per aircraft with technology, transfer of technology. Mr. Modi went and negotiated for 1670 crore per aircraft without transfer of technology. Fact is that after getting to know the dubious role of Sushen Gupta, way back in 2018 October, Mr. Modi's CBI was told by the Attorney General of Mauritius in October 2018. Instead of asking the CBI to act against Sushen Gupta, Mr. Modi acted against the CBI and removed Alok Verma in the midnight coup and raided his office and installed his favorite officer, Nageshwar Rao. Who was hiding?
What next then?
I have one more very, very crucial information. The ED raided Sushen Gupta in March 2019, in which they got to know that sensitive documents he was leaking from under this government and giving to Dassault. Mr. Modi's ED knows about it. Why didn't they investigate? So you don't investigate, you remove the no corruption clause, you buy a plane worth 526 crore for 1670 crore, you do it without a tender, and you also don't conduct an inquiry. Why?
So you guys want JPC? What kind of inquiry you want?
We have been demanding a JPC, and this government is running away, scared, afraid of a JPC. Why? If they have nothing to hide, let them hold a JPC.
But that side, the argument coming from the other side is this, that already a Supreme Court has given a clean chit.
This new set of information was not available during those days. The fact that the Mauritius Attorney General had given a file to the CBI director in October 2018, the fact that ED recovered those incriminating documents from the premises of Sushen Gupta in 2019, in which there is a particular note which Sushen Gupta writes to Dassault, saying, this is 24th June 2014, saying that he can introduce Dassault with the new leadership, with the central leadership. Why isn't the government investigating? Because the Prime Minister personally steered this deal, personally removed the no corruption clause, personally benefited his friends and the French. The loss to the exchequer is 41,000 crore.
Mr. Khera, Mr. Patra is also leveling allegations against the Congress leadership also about the about this commission thing.
We are giving you details. The deal happened under your government. If we took the commission, why aren't you holding an inquiry? Why are you afraid of an inquiry? The deal happened under you. You removed the tender. You removed the no corruption clause. You bought a plane for 1,670 crore where we were buying it for 526 crore. You sacrificed the transfer of technology and you are afraid of inquiry.
So are we heading towards a stormy winter session because winter session is round the corners? Will this matter be raised in that session?
Of course, this matter is a matter of national security. Our security interests were compromised. 126 aircrafts we were buying. You reduce it to 36. Why won't we raise it? Of course we'll raise it.
Well, it seems that we are back in that situation which was before 2019 polls where BJP and Congress were at loggerhead as far as Rafale is concerned. And now Pawan Khera is saying that not only asking for a JPC demand from this very podium where we are in Congress headquarters, but opposition, in particularly Congress, will be asking for a JPC probe in the upcoming winter session of the parliament also.
All right, Supriya, thank you very much for joining us with those details. Now, let's take a quick look at how middlemen, Sushen Gupta particularly, allegedly received kickbacks in the Rafale deal, according to an article that was published in the French journal called Mediapart. Of course, according to those allegations, Dassault Aviation, which is a manufacturer of Rafale jet, paid money to a company in Mauritius called Interstellar. This is the company that Dassault paid to, and through which money then went to Sushen Gupta, who is the alleged middleman here in the Rafale deal. This is Sushen Gupta, who seemed to have been the middleman, who's managed to, in fact, get kickbacks only to settle this deal between the then government and Dassault. In fact, he allegedly got 65 crores as kickbacks, and that's huge money, and this bribe allegedly was paid between 2007 all the way to 2012 in tranches. These are the allegations, of course, that's been made by French media house. In fact, this is exactly what the BJP has now used as ammunition to hit out at the Congress. Congress in return saying that, of course, the BJP refuses a probe into this matter, and therefore the fight between the two parties continues over Rafale. Let me quickly cut across and tell you here, or let's understand as to who is this alleged middleman that we're really speaking of. Sushen Gupta, who seems to be the man in the spotlight currently. He is a man who carried out this defense deal, rather a middleman who attempted at striking this deal with the then government and this company. In fact, from family of defense contractors, this is where he comes from, is what we are told, and he's reportedly hired by a French side for Rafale deal. So a French company managed to get him on board to try and strike the deal between the Indian government and the company. Now, he ran a web of companies in India, in Mauritius, in Singapore, Switzerland, as well as in the UAE. He is an alleged middleman for Dassault Aviation in Rafale jet deal, as we did mention, and reportedly earned millions from Dassault by leaking documents as well. So he managed to get deals done by, of course, unscrupulous ways. We're looking at this man who's accused of money laundering as well in a VVIP chopper deal, and an investigation was also initiated with this regard. We're looking at Sushen also, who's been arrested in 2019 by the Enforcement Directorate in a 3,600 crore VVIP choppers case. Like I did mention, he's still under scanner. We're looking at investigation that still continues on him.